What's up, people? What does that say? Oh, what I just came and said. Because I wasn't looking. Sorry, I'm a few minutes behind today. Or it's today we talk about relationship. Now, interesting thing over there on TikTok, they suspended my relationship channel from last week because I was talking about, the little pick me thing and how it's a misunderstanding. So they want to disregard me. So my regular TikTok, I know it's not my normal TikTok for relationships, but I'm suspended until February 8th on my relationship TikTok channel because of last week. So I did it on this channel last week, so I'm doing it on this channel again. Because they wanted to disregard a brother because TikTok is funny like that. Probably get in trouble for talking about him right now. But I ain't never been in Facebook jail. But I done been in TikTok jail quite a few times. That's some bullshit. But yo, oh man. So today is Wednesday. So today we talk about relationships from the alchemy of tantric love. And there's a popular conversation that's going around that's getting on my everlasting nerves. Oh, let me change this TikTok to allow guests to be able to come into this thing. But yeah, there's this conversation. It's really irritating when it comes to relationships. As far as I find it irritating, it's irritating to me. That's this idea of body count matter. Does your body count matter? And go talk about it. Because I want to know. And I definitely want some other people's opinions on it. Because my opinion don't mean that it's the only opinion that can be had. But does it matter? Does body count matter? And I do recognize a couple of things about when I see people talking about body count. Grand Rising, hey Debbie, how you doing? Yeah, TikTok got a jail. It's called suspending you because people, I don't like what you're saying, so I'm gonna complain. But that's why the best way to counteract that is on TikTok is for people to hit the like button, keep on liking it. Like you can like it like 50, 11 million times on TikTok. If a video is liked enough, then people can't get it canceled as easily. So if you're over on TikTok right now, smash that like button a whole bunch of times because really, I'm about sick and tired of these little youngins and some of these old heads that I see on TikTok talking about body count and the fact that if a woman has X number of body count, then she has no value or she's a garden tool. Whereas they don't hardly say nothing about men. They don't say nothing about dudes out there slanging and all this kind of stuff. And then they have the absolute nerve to try to quote like these scriptures and all this kind of thing, whether it's Muslim, whether it's Christian, no matter where it's coming from. They have the nerve to try to, get all religified and holier than thou. And then I see these older women up here trying to tell these younger women like they were not there slanging it. You know what I'm saying? Now I understand if you make a mistake. If you've done some things wrong in your life, you've done some things you regret, that you teach the younger generation. You do that. But the way they come across at them as if they've been, sweet Miss Prissy their whole daggone life, and now they sitting up here in judgment over these other people. And I'm just kind of irritated by a lot of these people talking about whether a woman's body count matters. First thing, a lot of people will start talking about, well, the woman's womb maintain and you create soul ties and all this sorts of thing. Look, that's a physical aspect of the human body. All the kind of things, all the attachments that are created are mental and emotional. They're not physical. Like if you get a cut and it keloids and you got that on your body for pretty much the rest of your life. How you doing, Dada? Dada Saints. Can't stand the Saints, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I know there are a few ladies on here right now on the different streams. Just because if you had sex with a dude today, does that mean that you are tied to that dude? That all of a sudden, like, oh, I'm attached. That sounds like some emotional BS to me. That sounds like, oh, I'm gonna make it so because I'm a man. And remember, the first person who started dealing with women's health down there was a dude. I'm a man, and I'm going to decide that that's what a woman encounters when she has sex. Has sex with some arbitrary dude tonight, all of a sudden, you tied to this woman. And again, I never say anything about the dudes. Young boys out here slanging it and janging it, and they sowing their world oats. But a young woman is supposed to stay chaste. And then when the man gets older, he go cheat on her because she don't know what she's doing. Then he mad. Saint said, I say maybe for a woman, she's attached, or a man who isn't sexually experienced with more than one. Right? I'm not saying that you can't be. I'm talking the way they talk about it. I understand what you're saying. But you just have sex with a woman today and all of a sudden you attached. Or a woman have a sex with a dude today and all of a sudden she's attached to him. She's created this soul tie. What if she was just horny? She just wants some relief. Is it not possible that she could just knock it out and be fine? But see, a lot of these people would look at a woman as like something's wrong with her if she felt that way. That she's not acting, she's not a Proverbs 31 woman. She's not following, I forgot what the Islamic surahs are. She's not following those things. She's not a modest woman, not a chaste woman. She's not fit for marriage and all that. He said no today, hell no. All right. I mean, because in all my 51 years, I've never asked a woman what her body count was. Never. It has never been a question. It's never been a concern. Why am I concerning myself with how many bodies a woman has been with? But all of a sudden now it's some prevailing thought. Like, I don't even know when it started to matter. Now, growing up, you knew the Wi-Fi. Growing up in Atlanta area, you knew the girls who were active and you knew the girls who weren't. Most boys was trying to hunt down the girl who was active or trying to convince some girl who wasn't active that she would need to be active. And, that was part of the whole thing. But I still know of a lot of those girls who were active back when I was growing up. They have become great mothers. They have become great wives. They have become great business owners, employees, whatever. They've gone on to live their life and they're happy. Their body count didn't have anything to do with them getting married, didn't have anything to them being a good mother, a good wife, none of that. But these people today are putting so much energy and effort on a freaking body count. Me personally, I'm almost 46. Next week, I never asked a woman how many men she slept with. Hell, I don't care. Exactly. That's from another 46-year-old man. See, that's why I hear it from these little youngins. It's these little young 36-year-olds and below. They the ones concerned. And they ain't gonna just put it on them. There's a couple of folks who come in here and we have that discussion over and over again about women's body count. And I'm looking at some of these dudes. I'm like, seriously, You actually give a shit about how many bodies a woman has been with when you yourself, you can't even count them. Like if you sat here, it is one. It's a guy. He would go into the 100. He would go into at least 100. All right, and at least according to what he says. You got all that on you, but yet you care about what a woman got. She got more than 5, man, and ooh, like, come on, bro, come on. Historically, men have always wanted to control the chastity of a woman. It's just always been, since this era of history, and put it that way, this era of history, men have always wanted to control the chastity of a woman. And in order to control that chastity, we try to put social norms on a woman that says that she can't be a sexual creature. Right? People that are caught up in body count obviously have some insecurities they need to deal with. Exactly. Now, here's the thing about it. A woman actually is a more sexual being than a man. Her body, a woman's body, is built to be more sexually active than a man's body, in the effect of a woman can gain way more pleasure through sex than a man. Okay? She get with me, she needs to do what I need her to do. We will be fine. We'll be fine. I ain't got my glasses on. She could have slept with 30 dudes or 2. I'm fine as long as she's listening. She listens to me. I'm with you. As long as my woman pleases me, as long as she makes me happy, as long as she takes care of me, I don't give 2 rats as how many dudes she not been with in her life. I could care less. It doesn't matter. Hey, Deborah, doesn't matter. I want to know, is she gonna take care of me, or can we have fun together? Can we connect on a spiritual mind? Can we, do we both have similar goals of life that coordinate with each other so that we can be happy together? All this other stuff, I'm like, I don't give a shit. I can care less. Oh shit. And back to what I was saying. The people who come to this lounge, they know I'm jealous. I'm jealous of the body of a woman's body. I'm jealous of a woman's body, and however the world ends, my world ends, creator, not creative. But let's just, for argument's sake, say that I get to go and I meet the amalgamation of God. First question, dude, that shit wasn't fair. And it ain't gonna be a dude. Look at him. That wasn't fair. The woman's body can have their sexual experience is so far greater than the man's that you at least could have got us halfway there. At least halfway. Because I'm 51, so I'm not new to the game. But when having a sexual encounter, sometimes my mind goes into this mode where I'm looking at the woman and I'm like, this shit ain't fair. Just look at how much pleasure and joy you getting compared to what I get. This ain't fair. Not that I'm mad at her for being able to be in there, and I'm not trying to sound braggadocious or anything like that, but it's just like, what is it? A woman has where a man has 4,000 nerve endings in his penile area, a woman has 80,000 or something. It's some stupid number like that, where a woman nerve endings are far greater down there than a man, far greater on the chest than a man, far greater in the neck, far greater everywhere than a man's. That's some bullshit. Y'all can be having multiples. We get about 1 or 2. We done. Time to go to sleep. This shit's not fair. But yet men are trying to control women's sexuality, trying to control them by saying that they can enjoy something that their body is built for. She can experience so many different levels of enjoyment. Exactly. I agree, because a woman's body is amazing. But we trying to control that. See, you see how we trying to control how a woman, what she does with that sensuality. And if we say that we are, if we should go with our creative nature, this is one of the excuses that I hear from, well, I ain't gonna say excuses. This is one of the things I hear from men, because it's not an excuse. If you want to have multiple wives, you want to practice polygamy, whatever, that's fine. I don't like the cheating, and cheating to me is only when you go behind your partner's back and do something. If y'all agree that y'all gonna do polygamy or polyamory or polyandry, go ahead and do it. But when shit, lost the point. Oh, but men will say it's in a man's nature to want to have sex with multiple women. We can't help ourselves. It's how we're built. Okay. Well, a woman is built to derive way more pleasure from sex than a man. So why are we holding women chastity, holding them as slaves to not being able to enjoy this intimacy? I mean, should they not? Should they not be enjoying this intimacy as a woman? Should women not be able to go out and enjoy their bodies if their body is naturally built for intimacy, whereas a man's body is not built as much for intimacy? But we'll use that excuse that a man is built to go out there and hunt and conquer and have sex with all these different people. I can't wait for the next group of jokers to come in here and bring that up. I'm gonna tell you about that one, because I never use that argument towards them when they've been in here, because generally the argument gets on my nerves. I believe them weak men hold women hostage, worried about a better guy coming along and she may want to spend more time with him. I agree. If you don't have confidence, I mean, in this relationship conversation today, it could be about anything really. I just had a few things in my mind. If you're afraid, if you're a dude and you're afraid that some other man's gonna take your woman, you shouldn't be with a woman. Just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Wait, you go get some help, go build some confidence, and then come back to the drawing board. You, instead of you trying to hold your woman down as a hostage, as this Saints fan is saying. I'm in Atlanta. That's why I'm talking about your Saints. Then I mean, forget it. Go on and don't be with a woman. You should never want to deprive any persons that you're in a relationship with of any aspect of their joy and commitment, their joy, their intimacies, their ambitions. You should never want to deprive those people of any of those things. You should always want them to be able to excel to the highest degree that the person can excel to. You want the woman to be as excellent as possible. You want her to have as much of a mental experience, spiritual experience, sexual experience as possible. You wouldn't want to hold them down. But if you are afraid that she's going to leave you just because another dude may be able to throw it down better than you, then, and that's all, if that's all your relationship is based off of, then you should be out of that relationship, because that's a weak dude that says that, oh, you got to say sexually dormant because I need to feel like I'm great, I'm all good, and that sort of thing. No, that's bullshit. A woman should be able to explore her sexuality just as much as a man can explore his sexuality. If who the hell is he to say that she can't? And all these dudes talking about body count, and like I said, most of them are young dudes, but young guys, which makes me think that they feel they have an inferiority complex, like that they have some level of inferiority complex that wants to hold women down to standards that they wouldn't even hold themselves down, and nor do they hold their own brethren down to. Because if I'm going to sit up here and say that, well, I think a woman that has more than 10 body count is not a woman that you should have raising your kids. It's not a woman that you want to have as a wife and all this other bullshit. Then a dude who got more than 10 body count is not a man that a woman should want raising her kids. That he's not worthy of being a husband either. Because if you're saying that a woman with 10 body count can't raise a daughter, then a man with more than 10 body count can't raise a son. That woman can't raise a son to be respectful of women. That father can't raise a daughter to be respectful of men. So if you're going to say it, you got to say it all the way. Don't half-ass and be bullshitting about it. Say it the whole way. That's why I don't care. I don't give a damn. And most grown men don't care. Like I said earlier, never ask. Never ever have I asked a woman's body count. And there was a situation where let me rephrase. And it was a situation where we were in a relationship or dating or something like that. Now, just general conversation. I've had some general conversations. So let me clarify that one, because I did use a finite term. We say, yep, I am in Atlanta. I feel that them white dudes that put the Bible together are no different but fearing the woman. Of course. Anybody who's put together any religion that keeps that tries to hold a woman's chastity over anything else about that woman, it's out of fear. It's out of fear and it's out of control. I need to control my community. So I can't have my woman going off and marrying somebody outside my community. And I have to be able to determine, who stays in the community, who grows in the community. So I got to control this community. I got to make sure that we have as many babies so we can get as big as we possibly can. And she needs to have sons so we can fight wars and we can do and all that kind of stuff. But I also need to make sure that I'm the only one getting it, because I need to make sure my lineage, that my bloodline is being passed down and not some bloodline of some other man. It's all these things that are controlled. That's all about the dude. And in our modern day, it's these weak dudes. It's out of weakness that these men are saying this bullshit. And from that weakness is where we get this repetitive conversation about body count. So for me, I don't care. I think most grown men that I've talked to, and grown doesn't mean age, by the way. Let me be clear on that one. Grown doesn't mean age, because there are some 50, 60-year-olds running around, 40-year-olds running around saying the same bullshit that these little youngins are saying, that they about this whole body count thing. Which is funny to me, because a lot of them jokers come from that whole, what is that, Woodstock free love era. You think they'd be the least ones saying that. But who knows, man? Who knows? Nah, y'all rather quiet. This is just me and this Saints fan talking. Deborah ain't saying a word. She just sitting up there just listening. So Saints, how do you feel about polygamy, polyamory? How do you feel about poly, Deborah? I don't know who's on TikTok. How do y'all feel about poly? Do you think polygamy is a good thing or a bad thing? I was talking to a young lady yesterday. She was saying that her goal is to have 2 husbands. So is she wrong for desiring to have 2 husbands? It certainly goes against. I think poly is cool for what works for you in your relationship. Yeah. But question is, most of the time, people who agree with poly for a man, they disagree with it for a woman. I was talking to a woman yesterday. She wants 2 husbands. Is there anything wrong with that? Does that change your opinion on poly when it's a woman that wants to have 2 husbands in a polygamous relationship? Because for those who have accepted polygamy, they've accepted it based on the patriarchal idea of it being a man and multiple women. But there are some historical cultures where it's different. Actually, there's a current culture. Oh shit, it's like up in Nepal, somewhere, Nepal or Tibet, where it's this one tribe up there. Saying it doesn't bother me. A woman having two husbands, cool. But there's a tribe, it's either in Tibet or Nepal, where they live way up in the mountains and shit. But in their culture, the woman has multiple husbands. So it's rare, but it's not that it doesn't happen, that it doesn't function. And that culture has functioned that way for hundreds of years, where the women have had multiple husbands. Now, they say that it was originally done because of where they live, and it goes back to this what we were talking about earlier. Because of the environment that they live in, they had to control how many babies a woman could have, because of the small amount of food that they can produce in the region that they lived in. So it was done, once again, though, out of control, the controlling of a woman's birth rate, her ability to have children, by giving her multiple husbands, because a woman can only. But if you got a bunch of women and they matched up with, you got a dude with a bunch of women, then of course you can increase your population drastically. What's up, Richie? I was told that when a man or a woman goes outside their relationship, apart from getting viruses or unwanted pregnancies, they attract the negative spiritual energy. Who told you that? And I'm not asking you to answer me, and literally answer that. But that's dependent upon. Okay, so based on what you're saying, that's a person going outside the relationship. That's a man going outside the relationship, or a woman, and they didn't tell the other person. They're doing it behind the other person's back. That whole situation attracts negative energy, because everything that's in that situation is done in the negative. First part, you're lying to your spouse. You're lying to your other person, who you're supposed to be committed to. So that's already a negativity. You have to go and sneak to do something. You're incurring another negativity. You got to do all the cleanups and all that other kind of stuff. Both of y'all know that you're doing something that nobody that eventually will hurt somebody, will hurt everybody. Then there's the whole guilt that comes after, and you try to make up for the guilt. So yeah, there is an entire negative energy vortex that you're drawing in towards yourself, and that will demonstrate itself in the rest of your life, in other aspects of your life, not the rest of your life, but in other aspects of your life. And brings it home. Hence, reason why it always have fights and poverty at home. Can you explain that? I guess I should have waited for you to finish. That's why nobody should, because nobody wants to share. But let's be real, most are, yeah. So like I was saying, you are creating a lot of negative energy in and around your sphere of influence, because of all the negative things you got to do in order to have those one moments of fulfillment, those one moments of happiness, of sexual happiness. It is better to just end the relationship and go off on your own and be single, or go and be with somebody that fits you better. Free that person up who you was cheating on. It's better to go ahead and do that and go through the pain of a breakup than it is to cheat. I'm not gonna lie. My first marriage, at towards the end, well, not towards the end, but in a portion towards the middle, I was not faithful, and it was nothing but a complete negative environment that was created. And in that negative environment, the guilt that I felt weighed more heavily on me than anything else that was happening. Coming in and looking at my kid's face, looking at her face, brought about such a heavy burden of guilt for stepping outside the relationship that created more negativity in my life. And then you feel guilty. You try to not, you don't want to get involved with it no more. Then you get upset about what you're not getting, and then eventually you go out there and you do it again, and then you feel happy for a minute, and then you go back and you fall back into the whole guilt, and it becomes this horrible cycle of negative energy that just surrounds your life. So it is better to either end the relationship, which is what I did do, is to end the relationship because I was severely lacking in conflict resolution back then. But it was better so I ended the relationship instead of continuing that cycle. And once I ended it, it took me about 6 years to get my shit together, to get my mind right, to understand what I need to be able to do in a relationship, so that stepping outside the relationship doesn't ever happen again. And proud to say that that's been the truth. Get married, never step outside a relationship, because I will not going to go back into that cycle, because that cycle brings about a lot of heartache. And saints, I agree with you. It's better to be poly. If you don't have that fulfillment, or you're just sexually explorative, it's better for you to just be in an open relationship or be polygamist or poly than for you to go behind your partner's back and cheat on your partner and start this whole negative cycle, of guilt and anger and frustration. And then if they ever find out, or they have those suspicions, they go through all these insecurities. They go through just having to go through the process of wondering and questioning and all this kind of stuff. You're putting them through a whole bunch of bullshit as well. So instead of y'all thriving in life, you're sitting up here suffering in life, trying to hold together something that could, and most of the time, is the fix is not that hard. The fix is not that hard. I was 19 when I got married. Shit, I didn't know shit, to be honest. I ain't know nothing. Hey, my reason for my faith in Jesus and the Bible. Hey, that ain't what this conversation is about today, Charlotte Robin. Tomorrow, no, not even tomorrow, because tomorrow, that's not what the conversation is. Next week, that's what the conversation will be about. So we're not going to have that conversation today. So if you can't stick to the subject matter, then you can wait till the next time. But we're not talking about that. But yeah, it's better to go off into a polygamous relationship or a poly relationship than to sit up here and keep cheating and allow for all that negativity in your relationship. And it's important to your life to not have that, because all of that creates a lot more stress in your life, and stress will kill you. Stress will kill you. So it will shorten your life. That stress will raise your blood pressure. All these other kind of ailments come about because you're stressed out, because you're wondering like, oh man, let me make sure my phone is clear. Let me make sure I got a good alibi. Let me make sure I don't, smell too clean when I come home. But let me make sure I don't smell like the other person. Let me make sure this, that, all this. And here's a big one for me. It costs too much goddamn money to be cheating. Okay? When you married and you want to start cheating, that shit costs too much money. You gotta have to pay for a place to go. You gotta eventually that person gonna want to go on some dates and all this kind of stuff. And then they gonna, Valentine's is around the corner. They gonna want some Valentine's. Your lady gonna want some Valentine's. They gonna want some Christmas. Your lady gonna want some Christmas. They gonna want some birthday. Your lady wants some birthday. All these different things, all this gift giving. They gonna want some flowers. They gonna want some gifts. It's like that shit costs too much money. That costs too much money. If I'm going to be spending that kind of money, then we need to be in a polygamous relationship. We need to all be in the same household. We need all three of them checks coming in. We need all three of them checks going into investments and building financial wealth and that sort of thing. To hell with that, because that one that you with, oh shit, she might need some money for she's a little bit slow on the rent. Some emergency happened, car breakdown, wiped out of savings. Well, car breakdown, roof car cave in. Damn, wipes out of savings. Then she got this, and wipes some more savings. Then that, and wipes some more savings. Now you up there like, okay, here you go. Shit. We all about to be in the same house. Because people who really, really know me, they know a lot of things with me boils down to finances. If the finances ain't right, the rest of it ain't gonna be right. Because finances can mess up a relationship in a heartbeat. Right. If you do something for your wife, your other woman, if she finds out, she'll be looking for her goodies too. Yes, sir, will. You and your wife, y'all go on vacation for y'all anniversary. That woman you cheating with, she gonna create an anniversary for y'all. And she gonna want to go do something for y'all anniversary. I'm telling you that one from experience. That one is straight from my own personal experience. Uh, when I was in my early 30s. Oh, y'all went away for your anniversary? You know what? This is the anniversary that you and I first started messing with each other. So I think we need to make that a special day. And because you stuck like Chuck in this situation, your dumb ass go ahead and do it anyway. And then yeah, you have a little fun, but you're always concerned. Oh shit, is some evidence gonna slip out? Is some evidence gonna be found out? You know, how we gonna, well, we in the middle of something. I get a phone call. I'm out. I'm missing phone calls. Oh shit! Now I got to worry about me and her at dinner, but I get a phone call from my wife. I gotta answer this call. If I don't answer the call, I'm gonna have to hear from her. If I answer the call, I'm gonna have to hear from her. So you like stuck. You like it ain't worth it. It's just not worth it. It's not. The shit is too hard. It's just too hard. You'd be much better off of using a poly situation and it's just like, all right, you know what? I'm going out with such and such tonight. I'm taking her out. This is her anniversary. This is her and I anniversary. So I'm taking her out and we're gonna go do our anniversary thing. The other person already knows she's perfectly fine. She's perfectly happy with it because she knows that when her anniversary comes up, when her and I anniversary comes up, she's gonna get her treats. Oh, it's her birthday. Yeah, we both happy birthday in her. You know, it's Valentine's. We all doing Valentine's, or you switch it up somehow. Well, we're gonna do it this week with you and this week. Nobody gets the actual day. So to be fair, so you're gonna get yours on Friday, you're gonna get yours on Saturday, or y'all figure out which one who want Friday, who want Saturday. Be good. And you go on about your business. Everything's above board. Everybody's working together to make this thing happen. You go that route. Some women will tell on you. Go right to your wife and let her know uh, you're seeing her also. Women are very competitive for the things they want. I've seen that happen to a few dudes. But most of the time when I've seen it happen in two occasions, two different reasons. Multiple times, but two different reasons. First reason, you break up with the girl, your side chick, and then she's mad, so she goes and tells your wife. Second reason is the second girl wants to become the number one girl, So she goes and tell the other girl or slips up to let her find out, in hoping that if that breaks up, she will then become number one. Not realizing that most of the time the girl that was number two, if she become number one, once y'all are 100 on each other, it don't work out. Most of the time it doesn't work out. I have yet to see, let me make sure I'm right, but I can't think of one couple that I met or know of where they were stepping out on, they were having an affair, decided to get together, and then that relationship blossomed and grew and became great. Most of the time, that relationship is filled with insecurities because you know that person, you and that person stepped out on each other together, so you know they're capable of it. So you know that if you don't act right as a man, or if she doesn't act right as a woman, that person will go out and find another person. So there's that insecurity, which makes you start to look at that person a little bit differently. When, before they had all this free time because they didn't have to deal with you 24/7. Now they got to deal with you 24/7. When they want some free time, what you doing with your free time? You're concerned about it. You're wondering about it. Things start changing in a relationship. First thing you think about, you don't think about what experiences they may have had. Maybe they're in depression or something like that. You start thinking that they out there cheating on you because y'all two were cheating together. That's why I couldn't. When I did step outside of my first marriage, I thought the person that I stepped outside with thought that we would get together. But I knew that that wouldn't work. It was not going to work for a few other reasons too. But the mere fact that that's how we were, I knew that that would create an issue later on. I at least had enough maturity to know that at that time frame in my life. Now at 51, well, I'm not going to step outside the marriage, period. But I know that it's not. Mm-mm. Whenever I get married again, there's absolutely no way I will step outside the marriage. It's just not even worth it. It's better to just end the marriage than to step outside of it, or talk to your woman about, if you can't resolve whatever the issues that you have, hey, let's do some polygamy or something. But everybody who knows me know that my primary interest in polygamy is the financial gain. It is not the sex part. It's the financial gain. You know how much money we could build together? Get the right 3 people, can build some shit. Life is an awesome teacher of many things. It certainly is. And I've learned a great many things over my life. Great many things over my life concerning this whole thing about relationships. Well, okay, so I'm from Trinidad, and I'm from Trinidad, and this is my first time hearing about poly. But here, I don't think both men and women will agree on that. That's why we call it outside relationships. What the eyes don't know, the heart won't grieve. So in Trinidad, it's a smaller island, so I get it. It may not be as you don't have as many people, but here, actually, polygamy and polyamory are a growing thing in the Black community in America. One of my good friends, Kevin Wesley, he's in a polygamous relationship. They've been so for a number of years now. The way their lives are situated and set up, everybody's happy. Everybody agrees. Are there arguments? Sometimes, yes. Are there jealousies? Sometimes, yes. But their ability to have problem resolution is great, and that's something that's important if you're going to get into a polygamous relationship. Is that all parties must be in a mindset of good problem resolutions. Because if you're not, you're right, it wouldn't work then. But men and women agree on it more so than you think. And actually, I find that it's the younger generation that is more involved in polygamous relationships in America than people say my age or older. You know, how old are you, Richie? And are you a man or a woman? Because now I live in Atlanta, in the metro Atlanta area. And I've come to realize that some things that we see in Atlanta, you don't see as much in other cities. But during the summer, if you go down to Piedmont Park, you will find a great many. I ain't gonna say a great many, but it is not unusual for you to be in Piedmont Park and see about 5, 6, 7 Black polygamous couples, you know, or polyandry couple groups. I shouldn't say couples, but you know what I mean. You'll see polygamy down there at, you know, 5 or 6 groupings. It's not polyamory. Now, poly is growing in my generation. They're more willing to do poly than polygamy, but you see that is a very much a growing thing here in Atlanta. And then when you look at, yeah, and Deborah said polygamy, everybody is not sexing each other, because in my friend, and I ain't gonna speak on people's stuff, but well, no, they say it. So like in my friend Kevin's situation, the ladies don't sex with each other, nor they don't do threesomes. The ladies don't involve each other intimately. So that's how. So Deborah is right. Everybody's not involved with each other. You know, they pretty much have a schedule, but that schedule is also flexible. You know, you got to have some flexibility. You can't just be like hardcore. Nope, tonight's not your night, damn it. But it is a growing thing in America. So if that's something that you're interested in, Richie, it is not as difficult to find it as you may think. You know, there are entire groups and pages and platforms that you can get involved in where people are looking for it. And you'd be surprised at the number of people. You'd be surprised at the number of Black people and the different age groups of people who are looking to be in a poly relationship. You know, for me, poly is a thing. I can be completely fulfilled in a monogamous relationship, and I can be completely fulfilled in a polygamous relationship. It doesn't really matter to me. You know, I just want to be completely fulfilled. That's it. The only thing that matters. Coach, I see you on becoming Dr. Vanessa on TikTok. Plus, this is moving too much. Plus, the things you have added on your channel, I've commented on and liked. Thank you. You are the total sum of your choices. No way around it. Yes, you are. You are the total sum of your choices. And you should be able to grow from your experiences of those choices, because some choices are going to work out for you, some are not. I'm going to have to look up who Dr. Vanessa is. Certainty, uncertainty, significance, connection, growth, contribution. These 6 human needs are paramount. People will give up their hopes and dreams to satisfy their needs. Oh, they certainly will. Yeah. And yeah, that's something that I follow, those six basic human needs. Because I agree with. You know, people do want certainty, and then after certainty, they want uncertainty. But really, we want the uncertainty that we agree, that we like. We don't want the surprises that we don't like. And we want to feel significant. We want to be connected, and we want to grow, and then contribute. Contribution is always the last thing. A young lady today on a video that I posted yesterday was talking about, if you want happiness, you just got to give. It's like, nah, you need some other things first before you start contributing and giving. And those are the other 5 things you need before you start contributing. Because if you start contributing before you have growth, then you're just gonna drain yourself. But people will give up their dream. They will give up their hopes and dreams to satisfy these needs. Hopefully, in satisfying those needs, you get your hopes and dreams. because oftentimes our hopes and dreams are created by society and not what we truly want. You know, if you ask me, okay, if you followed me long enough, you know that I own a gourmet popcorn shop. Is owning a gourmet popcorn shop part of my hopes and dreams? No. I own this cigar lounge. Is owning this cigar lounge was part of my hopes and dreams? No. And we're just talking about work and stuff. No, it wasn't. You know what my hopes and dreams are? Being able to make a living running my mouth, talking, so researching, studying. That would be my hopes and dreams, right? So, but in those things that you're talking about, certainty, if I was certain that I can make the type of living that I want to live, let me rephrase. When that certainty comes about where I can live the way I want to live and do just this, I'll have certainty. There'll always be some uncertainty because you got to always keep learning, keep growing, keep developing, keep staying with the trends. You know, significance. Are there enough? You know, are there enough people who recognize and follow, and that I've hit my target audience? You know, connection. Am I maintaining that connection with them so that they stay within the audience, that they keep coming back and they draw more, and then growth? Are they drawing more people? Am I drawing more people? Am I creating more content? Am I learning more so that I can deliver more? And in contribution, what is this content doing for other people? So my hopes and dreams can be satisfied with those same basic needs. Any thought or emotion or action that satisfies two or more of these needs, you will become addicted to, regardless if it is positive, negative, or neutral. It makes no difference. And yes, I agree, Kenneth. You can become addicted to it. And addiction is not always a bad thing. Addiction is only a bad thing when it creates a situation where you cause harm to yourself and others. When it creates harm to you and others. See, I'm talking you. See, I'm talking you, just not seeing it. Are you saying that it's slow, Debrica? It could be slow, even though I think you just typed it. But I appreciate it. But no, but you're right. I use those 6 needs. I use those when I'm coaching someone. Those six basic human needs, and then we figure out how those needs can be satisfied to its highest potential without you giving up your hopes and dreams, without you creating negative impact on yourself and your environment and the people that are within your environment, so that you can have actually a happy life. You see, in most aspects of my life, I fulfill those 6 needs. Are they all completely fulfilled to the level that I desire for them to be? No, not yet. But there's growth in them. That's why growth is so important in that, because if there is no growth, then there is death. There's nothing stands still. All things is vibrating. All things are moving, either moving to the left or to the right. You're either growing or you're dying. One or the other. There's no in between. So the goal is to be able to fulfill those needs in every aspect of your life and be able to continue to grow and be happy, so that you don't have to worry about the negative impact of anything that you do. Hey, Sharonda, welcome. So, there's a lot. I was just thinking, like, I catch a lot of shit from people on TikTok about me smoking cigars. Right? They all up in my business. But this satisfies some of my needs. Right? This is a cigar that I make, my Nicaraguan. When I built this cigar, I built it based on some of those needs. I need the certainty of certain leaves because I wanted certain flavors and notes and things to come out. I wanted certain smoothness to come out. I put also some other leaves in there because I wanted the uncertainty of people when they smoke and they say, oh, it's a Nicaraguan, but then it hits so smooth. That's why there's some HVA leaves in here, right? So that they catch that uncertainty. Some of the palate taste comes out stronger so that they get there, that it becomes significant. Then it's got my name on it, my face on it. So that also makes it significant. And it also creates a connection to me, connection to who I am and the type of person I am based on the experience that you have when you smoke this cigar. The growth will be when I change some of the leaves and it grows into a, well, actually, it grows two ways. As you smoke it, it becomes different. Then the other aspect of it is when I create another one, but switch up the leaf. That goes to the uncertainty of, well, I'm changing it, and that's growth. And then the contribution is that, I'm just contributing to the cigar society. Beyond that, and also the contribution to my pocket. Okay, Ricky, so you're a man and you're 32. Richie, at 32 year, I don't know where you live, but we was talking about poly and polygamy when you said it. A 32-year-old man in certain places, like Atlanta, you can very easily have a polygamous relationship. You can have very easily. There are so many women in your age group and below, in their late 20s, early 30s, who are looking purposely to be in a polygamous relationship. You say they wouldn't fit for a 51-year-old dude because they want to have babies, and that's not happening. But for you, that would fit. You're all starting to grow together. You're still at a young enough age that you still got a lot of growth, but old enough that you should have a certain level of maturity. Now it's going to be the hardest part is pairing people up. Coach, have you heard that belief is about doubt? Yeah. Actually, I did a couple of videos that belief is about doubt. If to believe something means that there's an aspect of disbelief, that there's an aspect of you could be wrong. Because like somebody asked me earlier today a question, and I told them, I said, this is what I believe based on a hypothesis, an educated guess of all the evidence that I can muster up. But facts is the only thing that I am 100% sure of, that I have complete certainty about. It's like, so we're talking about relationships on this jump today. I can see a beautiful woman, and she could tell me everything about her, and I could believe that that's who she is. But until I get to know her, until I see her in action, until I see her deal with certain situations, I don't know shit. I am in complete doubt. I have doubt of whether or not the woman is exactly who she's saying she is. Until I see it performed in the situation, that's when my belief changes from belief to knowing. So anytime you believe something about a person, about a situation, it has doubt written within it. That doubt can only be satisfied through the experience of watching the person and going through the experience with the person. All right. I'll give you another example that some of you guys know that happened to me this past summer. I used to always believe that I can handle almost any situation in a relationship. And I don't want you to get me wrong in this. But then a friend of mine, she had stage 4 pancreatic cancer. She came to stay with me for the last 3 months of her life. I used to always believe that I can handle that situation like a champ emotionally, right? And this was just my friend. Now I know I can physically handle it. I know that during the time frame I can emotionally handle it, but when it's over, I am going to be I thought that I would be emotionally stronger. It hurt me a lot more than I anticipated. So now I can only imagine that if she was like my lady and that happened, how much more devastated I would have been. if she was my lady. This was just like a friend of mine that was one of my best friends for the last 12 years, you know, and it hurt me way deeper than I thought because I believed how I would handle it. But then once I actually had to deal with the situation, it was much deeper, much deeper. And that goes for every level of belief, no matter what the belief is, whether it's spiritual, whether it's the belief in yourself. Like when the lottery is always big, people always talk about what they believe they'll do and who they believe they'll become. Shit, you ain't gonna know it till it happens. Now that's one thing I love to test though. I want to test that one. Let me test that $1 billion lottery. Let's see. I want to know if I'm gonna be the person that I say that I'm gonna be. I'm like, damn, I ain't heard from Coach Renz in a long time. What happened? He won that $900 million lottery. Now disappeared off the face of the earth. That joker said he was gonna do all kind of great things and help the community and do all this stuff if he won that 900 million. That joker done disappeared. Yep. All that talking don't mean shit until you live it. Yep. We can talk all day. That's why the majority of things that I talk about, that's why the majority of things that I talk about are based on either true experiences that I've had or true experiences that people that I've dealt with have had, because I rather deal with reality and not a bunch of belief. Bunch of belief. Look him. I like a little bit of coffee with my cream. Yes, I like a little bit of coffee with my cream. But that's only this coffee. Later on, when I have my Cuban coffee, it's actually just a little bit of cream mixed in with the Cuban coffee, because that Cuban coffee that I have, which is freshly ground, that's totally different. Totally different. That one I like more coffee. So don't pick on me, Deborah. Deborah want to pick on me about my coffee TikTok, YouTube. She's picking on me about my coffee. But yes, that's coffee. It's cream with some coffee in it. And that's because this cigar actually goes better with this type of coffee than it does with the Cuban coffee. I got a different one, a more robust one that I'll have with my Cuban coffee later. Come over here and pick on me about my coffee. Exactly, Coach. Reality is where the facts believe. Reality is where it's at, or facts. Believing and faith is just feelings and hoping, right? Yeah, a whole bunch of feelings and hoping. I really don't have time for that. I remember when I was writing the first book that I wrote this book back in 2002. It's called How to Escape Mental Welfare. And there was a gentleman that I respected at the time. I asked him to read the manuscript before I published it. And the initial part there was a prologue in it that had a lot that talked about hope and the hope that people had when they came to America, the hope that people have when they do this, the hope. And then he read through all the book that was the book, and it was really about how to change your mindset, hardcore things that you need to do. Yeah, you really should have just stuck to hope. I think this book would have been a lot better if you just stuck to hope. I was like, man, I ain't got time for hope. I got time for facts. I got time for you getting the job done, getting shit done. Deborah said, I like my coffee like I like my man, dark, strong, and sweet. Of course. How the hell is it going to be sweet if it's all dark? You got to ask, you just got to have some, well, you just add sugar, no cream. Fine. But I get what you're saying. I was just playing with you. But yeah, hope is wasteful. Hope doesn't do anything for you. Hope is just like belief. It has a whole bunch of doubt in it. and track all the way back to what originally started this conversation. When these men talk about a woman's body count, all they're really doing is hoping that because she has a low body count, she's going to be a good person, that she's going to be somebody who has this higher standard of living or mindset, that she's going to be a good wife. Low body count has absolutely nothing to do with you being a good wife. Absolutely nothing. Hell, a good wife is one that when y'all go in the bedroom, she know how to, or wherever y'all at, she know how to lay it down. You know, a good wife is one that doesn't go out and spend all your goddamn money, you know, and break the house. A good wife is one that knows how to take care of her man and take care of the family, to take care of the household, to take care of her job, to take care of whatever she needs, whatever she's responsible for. That's what a good wife is. Her body count doesn't matter, but they put hope in that low body count means this. It doesn't mean any of that. Not that a woman with a low body count can't be all those things, but it doesn't mean any of that. They hope that monogamy means all of that, but it don't. They hope that polygamy means all, but it don't. You don't know shit until you get into the relationship. You don't know nothing until you start getting to know that person. When then that person demonstrates who they are. And then a person can only wear that representative for so long. We had a debate about that the other day in here, about how long can a person wear that representative. I say most people within 6 months, that representative is going to flow away. But I have seen on 2 occasions that representative lasts for like a year and a half. A year and a half. Now, just to be sure, you check a person out for about 2 years to make sure that all representations are going away. I didn't relate that to doubt. Wow, well, really, I always believed hope was promise. I didn't relate that to doubt. Wow, a whole new perspective. Yeah. Well, you gotta think about it. You're hoping and faith is things unseen, unknown, as they like to say. And you're hoping, you know, like today, I rode my motorcycle today to work. I hope it don't rain. I hope it don't. But it might. It could. It could rain on my head on that bike, which is why I brought my rain gear with me. You say you got a bad connection? Oh my God. This phone. That's the only thing I hate about doing this. I can't do a live on my other phone without my phone being on. Damn thing keep on ringing. I got to figure out a way so I can stop the ringing. I put it on airplane mode one time, but it still kept. But then I couldn't go live. Understanding human needs is beneficial in all forms of relationship. Exactly. You shouldn't be in a relationship with somebody if you don't understand what their needs are. And going all the way back up to when you gave the 6 different needs that a person has. When I'm in the process of dating a person, I want to find out what are the certainties that they must have in life. You know, many people just look at it from just, oh, what's your love language? Oh, your love language is, your top 2 is gifts and quality time. And then they stay stuck right there. But what are the gifts? What are the quality time? What level? What makes them happy? How often? What's the quantity that they need as far as quality time? And what goes on during that quality time? I need to dig. You got to dig deeper to find out what is the certainty? What are the top 2, 3, 4 things that a person must not have in a relationship? And are you certain that you can be that person that does not do those things in this relationship? So you need to know those certainties about being with that person. Their uncertainties. What type of surprises do they like? You know, not that you're just going to be throwing shit at them. What kind of surprises that they like? Most people only like the uncertainty that they like. I will tell a woman, I tell any woman that's ever known me, they know, because I gave up hope, it never comes. Right. I don't do hope. I go out, you want something to happen, you go out and you make it happen. The only hope you can have is hoping that you are doing the right things to manifest it. But if you understand the law of cause and effect, then you can, before you put forth an action plan, you can pretty much determine what are the causations to get the effect that I desire to have. And the same, and that's when I'm dealing in a relationship, if a woman's certainties and uncertainties don't fit what I desire to have in a relationship, we're not gonna work. We're not even gonna get to the next part. We're not even gonna get to significance, because then that woman won't become significant to me, or I may not become significant to her. And if we can't become significant to each other, then the relationship is not gonna work. And that significance is first found in the first two. Like, every woman that's ever known me knows I don't like surprises. I can't stand surprises. Surprises get on my nerves, because and I know part of it is baggage, because in the majority of my life, I rarely got the surprises that I wanted. Most surprises came that I did not want. So I kind of grew into a person who don't like surprises. I prefer certainty over uncertainty. I prefer you say, well, okay, like Valentine's Day is coming up. I would prefer if my lady came and said, this is what I want to do for Valentine's Day. Tell me what you want to do for me. We good. Don't surprise me. Now, the only time you can surprise me is you can surprise me on shit that you already know about me. Things you already know about me. So it's not even an uncertainty. It is just you are certain of this, and so you are doing this without me knowing that you're doing it, and so then it comes as a surprise. But uncertainty, I don't like walking around with no uncertainty. I don't even know everything. We give those answers as wants, but do we really know what we need, right? And I don't even deal with wants and needs. I'm 48. I truly just beginning to understand what I need from a relationship. After reading, um, shit, it's not the Vedics. I forgot what it is that the Buddha wrote, that the Buddhist people write, what they call their books. But I remember back in 2000, it had to be like, that was like, let's see, where was my company at the time? This is before I moved into Southwest Academy Mall, so this had to be before 2018. So this was had to be around 2017, 2016, 2017. And I was reading some Buddhist writings, and it went deep into the difference between wants, needs, and desire. And I came out of that realizing that oftentimes some of my mistakes in relationships is because I was looking for somebody that I need, right? And the 0 point of it is wants, wants and needs are just like doubt and hope. You will always find yourself lacking if you're always in need, right? And I understand what you're saying. I understand when people say what I need in a relationship. The actual word that would be more correct, according to what I was reading, because what's correct for you is correct for you, is what I desire. The reason why they use the term desire more so than wants and needs is because wants and needs put you in a more static, more more potential situation of energy and movement. Whereas if you have a desire for something, a desire propels you to move forward. A desire propels you to um, become kinetic in your energy and not be potential energy. Stop bursting your bubble. No, I'm not trying to bust your bubble. I want you to be better. I mean, think about it. And this is so evident. It was so evident for me when I read this, and then I went back to when I owned a gym and I was a personal trainer. You can't tell that now, but the people that came in and they just wanted or they just needed to get in shape. Like I had a guy, he came in, well, I need to lose X amount of pounds so that I can get this surgery, or X amount of pounds because we're getting ready to have a baby, or the summer is coming and we're taking this trip, you know, to Bali, and I want to be in better shape. I need to be in better shape. But the ones who came in because they had a desire, that desire was something that they had that they've emotionalized. They put emotions behind that mental thought process. And because they put that emotion behind it, them jokers come. When I tell them you got to be in here this number of days. This is the workout that we're doing. This is your food journal. I need you to have, this is how I need you to eat. This is what I need you to drink. And they had that then, and that was backed by desire. Those were my most successful clients every time, bar none. Because that desire, I had this one lady, she just wanted to lose weight. She just wanted, had a need. She wanted to lose weight to get smaller and look better and feel better about herself. She needed to get in better shape because she had been promising her kids that when they get tall enough to ride the big rides at Six Flags, that she would ride the big rides at Six Flags with them. That was her need to get in shape so that she can ride these rides. What she never realized is that she was too big for the damn handlebars, the bars to go down on the rides. It wasn't until she actually went to Six Flags with her kids. They had got tall enough. They were so excited. And I knew her kids too because I trained her kids. They were so excited, so excited, so excited. They go, she's too big to ride the rides. She was too big. They couldn't pull the bars down. After that, she developed a desire. It hit her in her breaking point. It hit her in a point where her emotions got attached to her getting better, getting in, losing the weight, losing the size. And when that happened, in 1 year, 130 pounds. It was like 110, 130 pounds in 1 year. Desire. No, Deborah, you're not the low vibration lady. It's just when you hear over the airways, and people are talking about like relationships, it's not what I want, it's what I need. It's not what I want, it's what I need. You hear that over and over and over and over and over again. It becomes like a hypnotic rhythm in your mind. That's what the terminology is. Not realizing how important words are. Well, we realize how important words are, but we're not realizing a truer definition of the word, a deeper definition of the word. So when you get into a desired state for something, like I wanted some gelato. Like this was like 2 weeks ago, I wanted some gelato. But it wasn't until that day that I was sitting in here and I had a desire for some gelato. I went and got me some gelato. Had to have it. It was already at the house, but I had to have it then. Had to have it. I warned my lady because I'm eating gelato tonight. I don't care what else is in that house, but that's what I'm having. Because I had a desire for it, and that desire maintained it. When I got home, guess what I ate? Gelato. Lift that bed up, put a movie on, had my gelato. Like I have a desire to leave this country. I do things. Everything I do is not everything, but most of the things I do are designed for me to be able to leave this country. We're down to somewhere between a year and 2 years of me leaving first the mainland, and then because of the age of my parents and her parents, just Puerto Rico first, and then after Puerto Rico, gonna go to Africa. Can't stay here with y'all. So we need to create that desire. When desires also keep you from being moved. This is how a lot of us mess up in relationships. We have a need for somebody, a person that fulfill our needs, and then when we see somebody that has some of those, that fulfilling some of those needs, we are quick to jump into it. But then when we start to see that they don't, them red flags, we then create excuses for their red flags. I've had a desire for the type of woman that I know would fit me better, that we can work, that I can build a relationship, that I can have a long lasting relationship with. Because I have a desire for certain things within that relationship, if the woman didn't fit my desire and I start seeing those red flags, I had to end that relationship because I'm not going to be moved from that. I remember telling one young lady who flipped the script on me almost 2 years after we started dating, like a year and a half after we started dating, told me, we had dated, we had got married, told me that, well, now that we're married, you can't just up and move to Africa. You now have to consider me. And I told her that marriage is not something that will stop me from moving to Africa. Marriage won't hold me to America. It's not going to happen. I'm leaving. If you don't want to, you've known this the entire time I've known you. I've known you for 7 years, well, 8 years at this point. I've known you for 8 years. This is something you've known about me for 8 years. This is not going to happen. I'm moving. You don't want to go. I'm like, all right, go and sign this paperwork till I'm out. Because that is something that I desire far greater than almost anything else in this world, is to leave this country. I don't like it here. Right? Desire is an action. So when these people are in a relationship, we don't allow yourself to get into a relationship with somebody and they upset. If they can upset what you have for yourself, plan for yourself, want to do, how you want to live, then that person is just fitting certain needs of yours. But if you have a desire for something, you won't be moved. Do you coach couples? Yep. Yes, I do. It ain't easy, but I do it. Couples are interesting. I remember there's one couple. When I started giving them all the work that they had to do, them jokers was like, "God dang, man, we weren't supposed to do all this. You supposed to just sit here and talk to us." And then we talk about it and then move on. Like, nope, I need you to do this worksheet. I need you to do this worksheet. Then we come back. Okay, we're gonna look at these worksheets, and then let me show you this. Let me show you that. I'm gonna do this worksheet. Now do this worksheet. Now we're gonna dig deep into your history. Dig deep into your history. And we're gonna look at these worksheets, and we're gonna figure these things out based on what you wrote on this one. You got to be completely honest about all this stuff. It was like, man, it's too much work. And I was like, do y'all really want to be in a relationship? Are you sure you're ready to be? Because this was like, they wanted me to coach them because this was pre-move-in conversation. They was looking at moving in together, and they wanted to move in together to be a good thing. So when I start laying out all this paperwork and laying out all these things for them to do to truly and the first part of it was for them to truly discover who they are, truly discover what their desires are, how they live, how they want to live, where they're moving towards in the future, all these different things. As before you move, because for them, I was like, it's good that y'all doing this before you move in, because before y'all put that much monetary involvement into each other and that mental and emotional and spiritual connection to each other, let's satisfy these. Let's see if there's issues that need to be satisfied before you make that move, because once you move in together, you'll start letting red flags go by. And they had already been dating each other for like 5-6 years. But there was a lot about each other that they discovered by going through my processes. And they did end up moving in together, but it was delayed by a year because of some of the things that they needed to work out between each other. You said we ain't really trying to do the work. This is true. This is what ends most relationships, to me, in my opinion. It's not fine when they say that most relationships end over finances, most relationships end over sex. It is not ending because of the finances. It's not ending because of the sex. It is ending because you don't want to do the work to resolve the conflicts that you have within finances and sex. Like, I thought today, my first thought was to talk about how to live based on one income as a couple, and just to really do a whole financial relationship kind of conversation today, which I'm not going to do today because we only got 34. It's 11:34, and I got to be done by noon. There's a way to do it. People ain't gonna like it, but it takes a lot of work. It takes work to do it. What are the top? what are the top things you believe should be addressed going into a relationship? Well, sort of already went over it vaguely with the 6 human needs of certainty and uncertainty, so that you can become significant to one another, and then after you become significant, you'll have that connection, and then you can grow and y'all can contribute to each other. But it's within that certainty, the top things you need to address going into a relationship. The first thing is addressing who you really are, who you really are, and what you really truly desire in a mate, what you really truly desire as far as how you live your life, what you really truly desire as to how you see your life going. Okay. Now, break that down into financials, sexual, intimacy, because there's other, of course, we all know there's intimacies beyond just sex, lifestyle, you know, how, not just financially, how do you want to live, but uh, stress wise, how do you want to live? I'm going to say stress. So me and my lady was talking the other day, and I'm the kind of person where I have to do some kind of business. I don't think I can just, you know, wake up, see the sunshine, have some coffee and a cigar and some breakfast. Well, breakfast, coffee, cigar, go for a walk, read some books, you know, plant some flowers, sit, go have lunch, have dinner, go play golf. You know, that I got to do something transactional. Right? I got to have some level of a business. But do I need to have the big mega business, the big business that's taking up 8, 12 hours of my day? I say, is that how I really want to live in my life? No. Doing this. Now, if I got up, we have our break, that whole breakfast thing happens, with that happens. Then I shoot some videos, then or do some voiceovers, and then I work out, and then we have lunch, and then the rest of my day, maybe shoot some more videos, do a live or two, and then have the rest of my, then our evening is just us. I'm good there. Right? So understanding how, when I say how your lifestyle is not just the financial, but it's how your day to day on average is going. You have some people who are workaholics and they just have to, and they love work and have to work. There are people, they pass retirement and they still working, 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 working. You know, is that a lifestyle that you want to maintain, or is there a point of retirement? And what does that retirement look like? How do you want to live retired? I'm 51, so of course retirement is the thing. There's no such thing as retirement for me, but you don't understand what I'm saying. So you want to be able to understand those things before as you get ready to go into a relationship. Spirituality is very important. That they say equally yoked. Equally yoked is beyond just do you believe in the same thing as far as spirituality. Equally yoked is all the things that I'm saying. It's finances, it's sexuality, it's intimacy, it's stress, no stress. The biggest argument that me and my lady are having right now, moving to Puerto Rico. She want to be 5-10 minutes walk to a beach. I want to be up in the hills. You know, it's all about that lifestyle. That's an important debate that we're having. I got some logical reasons for it. Storm come, better to be in the hills than to be near the beach. Get flooded out. You know, uh, I don't mind a 15-minute, 20-minute drive to a beach. I will still go to a beach damn near every day if I can get to it in 15, 20 minutes. She doesn't think that I would or that she would. That's why she wants to be closer to it and walk. She also is the privilege and the peace of just walking there. You know, we both like photography. We're in the hills. We're gonna have a lot more variety of photography. Plus, it's more peaceful. just a whole bunch of different things. So we have to discuss those things. This take equally yoked way beyond the Christian doctrine. Yes, it does. But actually, if somebody actually understood that Christian doctrine, they would understand that equally yoked actually means all that kind of stuff, because it does mean all of that, even within that doctrine. And I missed a few things that people said over here on YouTube. Um, understand. All right, many people expect desires, needs, and wants while dating, but they are banking on changing a person once they marry. Such an illusion causes many headaches. We cannot change anyone. And that Saints fan said that they can't disagree. This is true. Let me tell you something funny about that, though, Miss Prissy. And I think men are going to agree with me. Some of the women, y'all may not. But men marry women expecting them not to change. Women marry men expecting them to change or looking to change them. One of the things that upset me the most is that the way we met you, this is why the representative hurts us more than it hurts y'all. The way we met you is the way that we expect y'all to be the entire goddamn on time. Right? We expect y'all to be that way. We don't want y'all to change. Yet we do have the same thoughts about equally yoked. We don't want y'all to change. I've told everyone, if I met you and you was, don't start nothing with me that you ain't gonna keep doing. Don't. If when I met you and I'm at work and I'm working 12 hours and you was dropping by, you was bringing me dinner, it's 5 years from now, you ain't doing that no more, we gonna have a problem. Because I was interested in that woman that was taking care of me like that. Is vice versa for you, Deborah? Okay. You can be an exception. Exactly. We're marrying you because of what we love about you. Exactly. Great example. So, married to this lady, and I never, ever, 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 ever forget this, because this was, I'm getting divorced after this thing. So, year and a half go by after we met. We done got married, and we was married for like 6 months. 6 months in, yeah, about 6 months in, things start changing. When I met you, you dressed the way that I like for a woman to dress. When I met you, you lived on one side of town. We lived 45 minutes away from each other. If it was a Tuesday, it didn't matter. You showed up. If it was a Thursday, it didn't matter. You showed up. Or I showed up at your spot. And when I got there, you was live and active. When you came to me, I was live and active. We having, bonfires in the backyard, inviting people over. It's a Tuesday, it's a Thursday, it's a Friday, and they having jazz at the High Museum. We going to the jazz at the High Museum. We active. We out here enjoying life. Right? Then about 6 months, all that shit stopped. I'm tired. I don't feel like it. I'm tired. I don't feel like it. I'm tired. We can do it. Before then we having sex as often as I like. Now it's relegated to, Fridays and Saturdays. Sometimes just Saturdays. So it's about 4 years later. We in counseling. And she had an epiphany. I'm telling the counselors, this is what I felt. This is what I fell for. This is what I was looking for. This is what I was desiring. And she demonstrated all of that for the first year and a half. And she said, well, I thought I was going to be a certain way when I got married, and I just realized I'm not that person. It was a couple who was doing the counseling. The wife looked at me and she said, would you have married her as the person that she is right now? I said, no, I would not. They were a little struck by that. Then the husband said, well, maybe y'all should try dating. Start over, see about dating each other, rediscover each other. Would you date the person that she is now? Told him no. If this was the person that I had met back then, I would have never dated her at all. There was nothing else they could say at that moment because they realized that this was a person I would have never even gotten with. And so the wife said, well, if you want to keep this marriage, you just gonna have to revert back to be the person that he originally found, because otherwise you bait and switched him. Gave it like 6 more months to see if she was gonna do that. She didn't. Told me that I need to do more to make her feel like being the person that I wanted her to be. And I said, well, this is just not who you are. And I'm not going to go overboard to try to convince you to be something that you're not. So this is not going to work. The lease in this condo is going to be up in April. That is when we will call it a day. And it had to end. Because I don't look to change. Men don't often, and some women, obviously with Deborah, don't look to change the person. We want them to stay exactly who we met. Don't flip the script. But I have been around women who they understand that my spirituality and their spirituality are not the same. And so then they try to change my spirituality. I just want you to come with me. I just want you to come. I just want you to learn. But maybe I just want you to talk to this person. I just want you to talk to that person. No. My spirituality is not going to change. Well, you can't just move to Africa. No. That's going to change. Oh, cigars is a deal breaker. No. That's not going to change. I got 7, 8, 9 pairs of sneakers. I don't wear sneakers. I usually will have 1 pair of sneakers at a time. Just one pair at a time. I don't wear sneakers. I wear them to work out. That's it. Or when I was operating a popcorn shop, I would have 1 pair of sneakers because I'm on my feet for like 8 hours a day. All of a sudden, you buy me sneakers. I'm not a gift person. Gifts don't do shit. Don't do much for me. Why you buying me sneakers? I appreciate a gift. Don't get me wrong, but it's not. They don't have the same meaning. You bring me dinner while I'm sitting here and I got to work for 12 hours. That means a hell of a lot more to me. You sex me up the way I want to be sexed up. That means a whole hell of a lot more to me. You want to spend time sitting with me, up under me. We're watching a movie. We're going for a walk in the park, going to walk in the woods. That means a whole hell of a lot more to me. Spending that quality time. I'm a physical touch, quality time, kind of guy. Gifts don't mean as much. But you want to buy me all these sneakers. Not only are you buying me gifts, you're buying me gifts of things that I don't even like. You're trying to change me. You want me to suppress my spirituality. You're trying to change me. I've been smoking cigars since I was 23. You're trying to change me. Men don't like being changed. We like being who we are. I'm talking about things that women do not like about men. From a woman's standpoint, you cannot change them. Speaking from experience, there was something I thought I could change, but I couldn't. No, you can't. If there's something that you like, there's something you don't like about men. Okay. Hey, kitty. Uh, uh, there was this hard discussion that we was having in here, right? That this woman wanted men to stop looking at this black woman wanted black men to stop looking at black women as being aggressive, right? And what was the verdict? Oh, the verdict in that relationship that it ended. You try to change me, it's going to end. Especially some of the core things about me, it's going to end. Some of the things that I enjoy, it's going to end. That's not going to happen. And I don't have any problem ending a relationship that's not beneficial to me nor the other person. I ended a relationship because I knew that I'm not good for you. You know, I mean, I think I'm great. I think I'm amazing, but there's somebody out there that I'm not good for. And when I saw that there was a relationship that I know that I'm not going to be a good person for that relationship, I ended the relationship. You know, but we was having this discussion. She wanted black men to stop thinking about black women as being aggressive, but at the same time, she talks about the fact that black women have had to become aggressive because, and we speak mainly talking about black American, and it's mainly because of what black American women have had to go through. Like black American women go through the same bullshit that black men go through. There are similar hurdles. Not all the hurdles are the exactly same. Equal doesn't always mean the same thing. But like in today's world, it's easier for a black woman to get a high profile job than it is for a black man to get a high profile job. Simply because from the Reagan quota laws, a black woman supplies both the quota of a woman and a minority. So they satisfy both diversity clauses. So it's easier for a black woman. Plus, black women have been going to college on 2 times the level of black men, so they're more qualified. All these different things have created a situation where black women have to become more aggressive in the marketplace. Um, then with the government and black women, and don't get mad at me for this one because it ain't my fault. I was listening to a lady who she works for the people where you get services from if you want government services. She was talking about how on the application it says, is there a man living in the household? How much money does he make? If you put down how much money that man makes, then the subsidy in your rent um, increases. Well, the how much the subsidy decreases, so that how much you got to pay increases. So she was telling black women, stop omitting the black man that's in your household, because then once they find out there's a man in there, they kick the man out or they threaten to take away the benefits. So it's not just the government that's separating the black family; it's that situation and the need and desire for someone to want to have a lower amount that they have to pay creates that as well. So all these challenges have faced black women and all these challenges have faced black men. It has made both of us a bit more aggressive. And so we have this more aggressive culture. But she don't want black men to think about black women as being aggressive, more aggressive than white women or Asian women or anything like that. But it's just that the culture has created a situation where black women and men have become more aggressive. It's just a truth. But you don't want us to think that way. But that's what we experience. So that's how we're going to think. But that's what the culture has created. So that's what we're going to think. You know. And you can't force us to think a different way if that's what we see and if that's what it is. And she kept admitting that it is. It's like, okay, but if you want a black man to not think you're so aggressive, then leave your aggression at work. Don't bring your aggression home. But I got to handle, and I got to handle. Now, see, how can a black man come in and handle these things? Yes, you're single now, and you got to handle the new roof and the plumbing and all these kind of things. But when a man comes in and that man says, let me handle it, sit your ass down and let him handle it. If you want him to not think you go be this aggressive woman. If y'all have a disagreement about something and you want him to be the head of your household, and if you don't want him to be the head of your household, keep on going even after y'all have come to a, he said, this is it. This is where I'm at. This is my decision. This is my thought. But you want to keep going. If you want him to be the head, the leader, at some point, you have to shut the hell up. And men have to do it. I just had to do that this morning. I'm in an organization, and the guy who's in charge of the organization called me up and said, hey, last night, when you kept going about this situation, I'm telling you that after I say this is how it's going to go, That's just how it's going to go. And you have to, and if you're going to stay in this organization, you have to afford me that respect. And all I said was, you know what? My apologies. You are absolutely right. It won't happen again. Shut the hell up. I had to do it this morning and apologize so I can shut the hell up. Because in that situation, I am not the head dog. So I told her, if you want a leader, you got to know how to shut the hell up. You got to know how to let him step in and be the leader. You can't keep trying to be the leader while he's trying to be the leader. You ain't going to have two leaders. It's not going to work. Even in the Joint Chief of Staff, right? There is one person who's over all of them. Yeah, you in charge of the Marine Corps, you in charge of the Navy, you in charge of the Air Force, and you in charge of the Army. But that dude is in charge of all y'all. So them other ones, yeah, they got their opinions, but when that one's first like, this is how we're going to do this operation, they shut the hell up. I've given my input, now I'm going to shut the hell up. And I missed some of these statements. Exactly where you... I hope is a beggar that walks through the fire praying that it won't get burned. Exactly. Faith in the fact that it helps to avoid the fire in the first place. Yeah. Faith in the facts. Well, yeah, in facts you just don't avoid the fire. Yeah, got divorced. That was the verdict. I had a friend girl. She didn't like my spirituality, but I stayed firm. It's who I am. You running from church to church. That's what you do. It's not me. I know the Creator is bigger than religion. Exactly. I'm just not going that route with somebody. Now I'm in a situation where if we don't have similar faith, we're not even going to do similar thought process on spirituality, because I don't do faith, then we just not even going to be together. Know the topic about if the body count matters to a grown man. Oh, okay. Yeah. No. The verdict of that, no. To a grown man, we don't give a shit about body count. We just care about whether or not you are pleasing to us, whether or not you take care of us, whether or not you are respectful, whether are we having fun, whatever our certainties are in life, certainties that we desire to have in a relationship. Are you that? That's what we care about. And me specifically, if you got like, oh, I've only been with one person, unless you have been very experimental with that one person, and you don't know shit, you don't know how to do shit, I probably ain't gonna want to be with you. You need to have some experience under your belt. I heard many of my friends, once they knew they were getting married, including me, went along with getting married, but thought we could change the man after marriage. That's what I mean. Yeah, no. And that happens a lot. That does happen a lot, unfortunately. Which is why I am so transparent when I first meet people, because I'm not going through all the changes. Yes, we as a collective have rebellious nature, but with practice, we can learn how to use that in our advantage instead of in our disadvantage. And we can. I'm going to talk about that in just a second. Put me in, coach. I desire that champion in my life. I want to be the woman. Right. I think most women do want to live in their femininity. The lady who was talking yesterday, she wanted the lady I was having that conversation with, she wanted to live in her femininity. Don't do that, coach. You ain't got time to coach. I don't have time. But women want to live in their. I do believe that most women do want to live in their femininity, but because of the culture that we've created today, it's harder for a Black woman to live in her femininity because of all the things that she has to deal with. Now, she does have to learn. She has to practice to learn, because it's going to take that practice, and a man has to be willing to go through the woman with that practice, but she has to show that she is improving. And it has to be the right kind of man who has the patience. And he ain't gonna have the forever patience. That's not gonna happen. But that's why you have to show progression. You have to show growth in that. My lady right now, she's been the last 4 years she's been independent, and it's the first time in her life that she's had the opportunity to be independent. She got married at a young age. She's always been with somebody. She's always had that. So she's been independent for 4 years. She got used to it. She likes it. It's difficult for her to give that up, but she has to give it up. She has to give it up because that's the only way it's going to work. You know, you can't still go run around doing whatever you want to do, however you want to do it, and still be in a relationship. That doesn't work. I can't do that. So she definitely can't do that. None of us can. When things are situated, like I told her, the house, you know, make the house your home. I don't really give a shit. I only got 2 rooms that I care about. I care about the bed and the bedroom because that sleep number is amazing. And then I care about my meditation room. The rest of the house I can care less about. Do what thou wilt to the rest of the house, as long as it don't look all crazy, you know, and it's organized and clean. That's all I care about. So you have to. The man has to be able to lead in such a way that he gives her room for her creativity, her independence, but then she respects that he is the leader, he's the head of that household. And when things are all said and done, if we have a disagreement about something, that it comes to a conclusion that this is what we're going to do. And then we move with that. Might be right, might be wrong, but that man needs to also recognize that his woman is his greatest counselor, that he needs to take her counsel more so than anybody else's, because that's the person he's desiring to live the rest of his life with. So you have to do that. Now, I'm going to do something real quick. Right. I got to operate both the cigar lounge and the popcorn shop. If y'all want to wait 3 minutes, 3, 4, 5 minutes, I think, because I saw a car pull up, but I don't think that's a car for the popcorn shop. I need to run down here to the popcorn shop, turn the lights on and everything, put the sign on the door that if they need popcorn, come down here and get me. We can continue until somebody comes into the cigar lounge, or we can end this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run down there. If I come back here and I see that there's nobody on these things, then that means that y'all were done for the day. You know, let me read this. That last comment was about a woman being inexperienced sexuality. Is she not teachable, or is it just she can be teachable? She might be teachable to a certain degree. I'm not willing to teach certain things. I'll teach, but to a certain degree, I'm not willing to. I'm 51. I don't have time for that. Yeah. If I was in my 30s, sure, teach all day. We got time. Ain't got time for that. There are certain sexual things that I like, and I'm not going to take the time to try to teach somebody. I'm not. I'll teach you some. If it's some just minor things here and there, okay, we good. Yeah, but other than that, I need you to already be experienced. Second marriage, we both learned marriage is not easy. It calls for many sacrifices along the way. I wasn't surprised though. I saw it in my mother and my father, and he saw it in his parents. Yeah, should be understood. All right, give me. We'll see if y'all still here in about 5 minutes or less. Where are my keys? There they are. I'll be right over there in just a second. There were a few things in here that I didn't do as well. Oh, y'all waited. I feel so special. I feel so special. Deborah had to leave. Still a few people on this one. So what we'll do is close out that one because I need this phone to be available for. Okay. Oh shit.
Been keeping it. I can't think of anything else.
All right.
Held on to this.
Second marriage, yeah. See the desire side of the divine feminine. Yeah. The divine feminine is a beautiful thing because balance in a relationship is what you have to have. You got to have that balance in a relationship between the masculine and the feminine. Both the male and the female both need to have balance in their masculine and their feminine if they want a relationship to work. And the male generally is going to be leaning a little bit more towards the masculine than the feminine, and the feminine should be leaning a little bit more towards the masculine than her. Leaning a little bit more towards her feminine than the masculine. That way the two can work well together. She needs just enough masculine to be able to counsel her husband correctly, but also to be able to, handle some business when things need to be handled and take care of things when things need to be taken care of. But he also needs to know how to nurture his wife, nurture his kids, nurture the family so that the family can grow and he doesn't have to rule with some kind of heavy hand. He doesn't rule at all, but he shouldn't, have to come in and beat things down, but be able to give good, wholesome instructions to be able to lead that family, to know when to say no and when to say yes, know when to go with his thought process and know to go with her thought process in different aspects of the marriage. Be able to delegate and say that, like how I do with the house, decorate that thing however you want to. I don't care. Now, if you want to go spend, $10,000 on a piece of furniture, nope. But because that doesn't fit the finances of the house right now. Now, if I won that $900 million lottery, maybe don't buy that $10,000 whatever. Well, then still depends on what it is. But go ahead on and do that thing. But it's all about having a really great balance between the masculine and the feminine in the relationship. Then that way, y'all both can experience growth and happiness and joy. So until you do that, you're not going to get it. If a dude is too masculine and he's just trying to rule heavy-handed, do whatever I say, that ain't gonna work. Because now that black woman's gonna come back and she's gonna bite you the same way. Or you're gonna have some fearful, docile woman that doesn't even know who she is, and then she's gonna dissatisfy that man, and then he's gonna wind up cheating on her, and then she's gonna be sitting up there like, I gave him all my life and he just used me and left me alone. You're gonna have that situation, and I'm sure you guys have seen that before. So there's a level of balance that you got to have within yourself, and so that you can have it in the relationship. And most of these people, a lot of people don't have that, nor do they consider that before they get involved in a relationship. This is why knowing who you are is vital to the success of any relationship. And then being able to identify changes that happen. This is the thing that I messed up the most in my first relationship, my first marriage, is that as life experiences change, as life experiences happen, and then with every experience, there's a level of change that happens. It's a very slow thing most of the time. I allowed us to grow apart. I didn't have the leadership ability within a relationship and conflict resolution to know how to deal with experiences so that we continue to grow together. Of course, there's certain little spurts here and there, but how to bring us back. I went off the Desert Storm. It changed me. How to bring us back. I went off and did some, we got stationed in Europe. Some changes on both sides bring us back. Having a baby bring us back. Wind up doing a job that really screwed my brain up. How I saw women bring us back. Bring myself back from that craziness. There's a lot of things like that happen, and I didn't know how to keep it together. You know what I'm saying? So because I didn't know how to do that, I looked for outside things to satisfy. It's kind of like when drugs. People turn to drugs, they turn to alcohol. I turn to women, and I didn't know how to bring it back, so I messed that up. You know, didn't have that conflict resolution, didn't know how to keep us together with the changes of experiences that we were having. I could blame that on being getting married at 19, but that's really no excuse. It's none whatsoever. No excuse at all. Just joining, how far along are you? We have been on for 2 hours, sir. We use all my lives right now. The only times that I can do a live are at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This one started about body counts for a woman, but like pretty much any live I do, after the point has been talked about for an hour or so, it changes. Now, tomorrow, we'll be back to talking. We're going to be talking about, we're going to be going talking about aspects of the Kabbalion again tomorrow. And then next week, we'll finish off Genesis, what's wrong with the Bible in Genesis. But I do want everybody to go there. There's a different YouTube channel that I created called The Art of Tantric Love. I do want y'all to go over and subscribe to that one because I would prefer for relationship conversations to be done on that channel instead of this channel. I would like to keep this channel as just a pure, why I left religion channel. But we don't have enough subscribers over on that channel in order for that one to go live yet. Because I just started it I started it a while back, but I just started messing with, getting back with it. So go over there as well. I know you subscribe here, but go subscribe over there at The Art of Tantric Love, one of my channels, so that we can get that one and then we can separate the conversations. Because I'm pretty sure there are some people who listen to this video and they think, oh shit, I might want to be a part of this one, but then they're like, hear the other stuff, like, oh hell no, that ain't what I was looking for. Because like I said, within 2 years, I will be in a situation where this is the primary thing that I do, is study and pontificate. But we are about to get off here in a little bit, because I'm sure that Greg and Ty and Tony and a couple other people are going to be walking through this door in a few minutes, because it's too beautiful of a day out there not to ride their motorcycles. And when they ride, they come over here because I rode around today. Coach, my question to you, what would you go back and do differently in your first marriage? It's a very good question. What would I do differently? And I've thought about this a lot. I would not have gotten married at 19. I was just ill-equipped to get married at 19 years old. It is something that both her and I have repeatedly told our children throughout their entire life. Our kids are now 27, 23, and 21. And they are not even close to getting married, because we ingrained in them that you got to get to a point where you know who you are first before you get married. I didn't know who I truly was because I was a teenager, right? And she wasn't much older. She was only 20 at the time. Well, by the time we got married, she was 21 because her birthday had passed. I always pick on her when it looks like she's 2 years older than me, but she's only a year and a half. But I wouldn't have got married at 19 because I was ill-equipped to be married at 19. We would have kept dating. I'm not saying that we would not have kept being together, but we would have kept dating, let ourselves grow a little bit over time. I went to the Marine Corps at a time frame that I didn't want to go to the Marine Corps. I wanted to go to the Marine Corps, but I didn't want to go when I went. I wanted to go after college, but because we wanted to get married, I needed to be able to afford to pay for a wife. So I went ahead and went in early. So I gave up going to college and what I really wanted to go to college for in order to get married. So I never had any resentment about that. So don't take that way. But I would change that. I would give myself time to grow into the man that I desired to become at that time frame. Like, I wanted to be an archaeologist. I was going to double major. I was going to do aerospace design and archaeology in school. Aerospace design was just so that I could make a living. Archaeology was the thing that I wanted to do once I figured out how to make just as much money, go do that full time. But if we would have still gotten married at that age, I would have taken advantage of all the counseling programs that the military offered before getting married and then while you were married. And that would have delayed our time frame of getting married more than likely for at least a year or two, because what I went straight off the Desert Storm, and then a year or so later I'm off into Bosnia. So I would have, you know, I would have taken advantage of all that counseling that the military offered, so that I was better prepared even at a young age to be able to handle all the changes that we would go through. As far as just being married and then being militarily married, it's a whole new level of pressure when you're in the military and you're married. You know, you're in a place where your wife can't work because there are no jobs for her. I mean, McDonald's had a like 1 year waiting list at a McDonald's in the small town we was in. So now you got this young wife who's sitting at home all day. She ain't got nothing to do, not that much to do. We don't have that much money, so it's not like she can just go around doing stuff. There's only so many times you can go to the gym, so many times you can go to the PX, so many times you can do certain things on the base, that was free or low cost before you get bored with that. So when I would come home and the first thing she would do is and just start talking, I was like, oh my God, I just got to finish dealing with these fools, and I'm working for this racist dude. I don't want to hear all that. Like, go read a book or something. And then I got fussed at for saying, go read a book. That later became a joke once we understood it. But it was years later before we understood. And, well, it was years later before we truly understood it. One of my sergeants explained it to me. Like, dude, she is sitting at home by herself. What do you expect? But I didn't have the maturity to deal with it, and I didn't know how to resolve that without it being a conflict. So definitely would have gotten tons of counseling prior to it. And that would have also given me time to see who I really am, and is this going to be a good marriage for me? Or what we need to do and understand to make it a good marriage. I mean, she's a great woman. I mean, we still cool today. We've never had any problems after the marriage ended. Well, one time, that oldest child tried to play me and her against each other, and she wound up losing. The child wound up losing. She got us for like a split second. She got us. She had us. But then I was like, hey, she just used us, right? She just played us against each other. And then we got back to being teen parents. So, but beyond that, that would be the main thing. Either not get married so young and go on and do my college thing that I was planning on doing, or if we had got married, utilize the counseling services that was offered. That's it. The only other option is just not get married at all. But that would only have, that option right there would have only been an option with me having a precognitive knowledge of what I was going to experience in the Marine Corps. You see, without that, knowing all the shit that I was going to have to deal with, because I wound up doing a job that very few people do in the military, I would have known. Is your first wife remarried? Not right now. She did remarry. She did marry again, but then they got divorced, so she is married now. I mean, so she's not now, I should say. And if you're about to ask what I think you're about to ask, no. Nah, I wouldn't do that. We are good where we are. Why do you ask that, Miss Prissy? But no, she's not. She's not married right now. She's married to her plants. She's not turning to her dad, farming and stuff, or planting and stuff. But no, we cool. Me and her are good. We have co-parented 3 great kids who are far better off in their initial start in life than we were. I mean, they are much more mature, have a much better handle on life than what we had. Sometimes I do want to choke that 27-year-old because I tell her stuff. She's one of those where she got to learn by doing sometimes. Oh, I think we revisit what we do differently and just wondering how you reacted to her remarrying. Oh, when she remarried, I was happy for her. I was excited for her. I was like, because at the end of the day, I wanted her to be happy. I think she deserves happiness. She's an amazing woman. I think she deserves to be happy, and I desire for her to have somebody that's better than I was towards her, so that she can have every aspect of what she deserves. So when she said when I said she was remarried, I was ecstatic for her. Initially, I was cool with the dude. Initially, I was cool with him. I talked to him. I said, "Hey, man, I knew she wouldn't bring you into our kid's life unless you understood that we are all teen parents here." Because I was already remarried at the time, and I wouldn't marry a woman who didn't understand that this is teen parents. You're gonna have those, oh, I don't like your ex-wife just because she's an ex-wife and she the mother of your kids, and you're gonna have some level of insecurities and jealousies. I wouldn't even deal with you, because there was a few of those that I met that I was like, nope, can't deal with you. You got problems with the fact that me and my ex aren't mad at each other and hate each other? Well, you stupid. We got 3 kids. We got to raise 3 kids. Get out of here. Uh, so I was great, and the dude, I was just like, hey man, we teen parents. He was cool with that. We could talk to each other. Had had good conversations. Had good conversations. And then there was only one time that he overstepped his boundaries. You know, I had told my daughter when she was 16 she wanted to get a car that you don't go get a car without me. And this joker took her to go get a car. And one, that's daddy duty. You don't do that. And I told him we'll both go. I wasn't going to exclude him from it, but she ain't doing that without me. She wound up going to get this damn lemon. And I told her, I said, see, ain't nothing against that guy, but I'm father. I know how to research. You know, don't you ever do that again. Don't you ever take one of my privileges away from me again. I told her that and him that. You ever my daughter, it was don't you ever take my privilege away from me because you're my daughter. These are things that fathers desire to do when they have kids. This is like one of some of those key moments in life. Plus, it's a bonding moment. And I told this fool, I understand you want to bond my kids even more, but don't you ever disrespect me like that again. Because I respect you as her husband, but when you come down to my kids, no, that's a whole nother level. So that's the only issue me and him had throughout the time frame they were married. When they were married. Would you ever consider marrying and having more children? Of course. Of course. I will get married again. And of course, she will already have kids that I will gladly bring into my life as just as much as my kids are. But if you mean start completely over with an infant, hell no. I am 51 years old. I was just picking on a guy last night who is, how old that fool told me he is? I think he's 40. Did he say he was 44? I think he's 44. He's like 44, and his wife just had a baby like less than a month ago. I laughed. I was laughing at him. I was like, hey, man. So when we all get ready to go down to the island, oh, my bad, you can't go because you got that little infant. Nah. Yeah, when I was dating, if a woman didn't already have kids, and of a certain age, I just was like, you know what, you seem like a great person, but I'm not going to PTA. You know, no more. I'm not doing parent teacher conference. We're not going to the Girl Scouts, Boys Club, Scouts, whatever. You know, got to find a babysitter. You know, got to the house. The house I'm in right now. When I went to go look for that house, school district didn't matter. Only thing that matters about a school district to me is does it keeps the value of their house. You know, beyond that, like the level of education. Oh, I got to move into a neighborhood. Like when I moved back from Florida to up here to Atlanta, and the kids were little. Yeah, first thing I'm thinking, what are the top 10 schools in this north part of Atlanta? Then based on that, which communities can I afford? You know, all right, this is where we live. I care less about that now. I go in there like, I like this house. That's all that matters. Is it safe? And I like this house. But no, I'll get married. Like a friend of mine, I take his thought process, and he has been extremely happily married since when did they get married? Was that 2010 or 2012? No, saying no. I met that person in April, so it's 2012 when they got married, and they have been extreme. Ooh, shit! They had a 10-year anniversary. Yeah, they did. I remember seeing it now. But they have been extremely happy. And his mindset was, I don't care how many times it takes for me. I'm going to keep getting married until I get that one. Or in some cases, that two, whatever it is. But no, yeah, I'm definitely getting married again. I love the institution of marriage. I love the commitment of marriage. I love the certainty of marriage. I don't like to guess about my week, my day, or my weekdays. I want to know that when I leave here today, I'm going home to my lady. That's what matters. I don't want to like, hey, so what you doing tonight? Hey, do you have plans for this weekend? Hey, I was thinking maybe we can go out this weekend. You got time for that? I ain't got time for that at all. We both know what we're gonna be with each other, and if there's gonna be some differences, then that's the thing. Hey, you know, a friend of mine or these people they want to do. Okay, all right. Would you get married again, Miss Prissy? Or are you married? Oh, yeah, you said your second marriage was 28 years. We both. Okay. So would you get married again? Or are you married right now? I guess that question should come first. Oh, yes, that's what you mean. Would I have more children? No. No. 51. 51, baby. 51. One of my brother's friends, he was 51 50 when he had his first child. And his joker don't care. He still just be going and doing and going and doing. And it's funny when I was on the phone with him about a week ago, and he trying to be on the phone and that little toddler running around. He's like, hey, boy, get out that thing. I'm like, woo, can't do it. For 28 years now, outstanding. I still got time. I still got time to be 28 years married. I'm only 51. I got time. Just got to do it soon, though. But I got time. But not too soon, not too rushed. But I got time to hit that. Yeah, we've been. Yeah, I'll be older. I'll be a lot older, though, you know. Yeah, I'm 80 years old. Having 50, 30, 20, 28 years I've been married and 80. I'm 80. Yeah, I plan to live to be 150 though, so you know I got chance. I got a lot of time. I got a lot of time. I ain't rushing. I ain't rushing. But I'm courting a lovely young lady right now, and things are going fantabulous. So we'll see. And her kids are adults, and my kids are adults, and we are good. Good, good, good. Love being married most of the time. I mean, yeah, it's not 100%. You're happy all day, every day, but I do know that I got to be happy like 80% of the time. 80% of the time, we both should feel like this was the best. We're living our best life, like 80% of the time. I don't understand when I meet these people, and out of a 7 day week, they're unhappy five of those days. That they're trying to escape, being around their spouse. I just doesn't work. Just don't make any sense to me. I can't do that. Yeah. I got to be happy most of the time. Hey, Kathy, how you doing? I don't know if you still if you watching, but I gotta have happiness in my life most of the time. Your only regret is that you have no children. Well, go and pop one, or unless you can't, then I'm sorry. Um, but adopt one. Have one or adopt one. The choice is yours. I'm not. I ain't having one. I'm not adopting one. Not doing it all. But you know what? At the risk of having to jump up and run out of here because somebody want to go down to the popcorn shop, and I'm the only person working both the popcorn shop and the cigar lounge today, I am going to go ahead and end this today, as far as this broadcast is concerned. So, thank you everybody for being a part of this conversation today. We're going to do a lot more with the relationship channel. Please go over to my YouTube and like and subscribe to the Art of Tantric Love over there. I greatly appreciate it. Um, that way I can start doing the relationship shows just on that channel. Yeah. In the Facebook group, the no, it's not muted. Can you hear me? On the Facebook group, it's called the Art of Tantric. If you want to go to my Facebook group, it's called the Art of Tantric Love. Um, you can either go there or go to the YouTube page of the Art of Tantric Love. As soon as we get 1,000 subscribers on the Art of Tantric Love on YouTube, then I'll start doing the relationship shows on that channel. So I will be actively growing that channel, but it'll grow a lot faster if the people who are already following me on this YouTube channel will go ahead and follow me there. It'd be great if the people on Facebook who are following me on the Art of Tantric Love's Facebook group would go over and follow me on YouTube. That way we can get the YouTube channel going, the lives, and separate the conversations so that this channel remains what it is. Tomorrow on the YouTube channel and Facebook, the Facebook group Wild Left Religion and the TikTok group Wild Left Religion. Oh, you hit your mute button? Okay. We will be discussing something. We'll be continue to discuss the Kabbalion. I think we're going to talk about the law of correspondence, as above, so below. It's a lot, but we're going to talk about that. But we're just going to do it on a brief level. I'm not going to go too deep because I am going to have a class on that, a private class on that. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for letting me pontificate, as I said earlier. And I look forward to tomorrow's live at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, we go every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays are the days that I go live as a scheduled live. If you just catch me doing a live any other time, I'm just doing a live any other time. So y'all have a great day. Remember, you got to free yourself to be yourself because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibration.